Hey guys, it's Jonna, and I had a request a little while back to do a video where I just showed you all of the brushes that I use and how I use them, and just kind of talk about each of them. I'm going to start with face brushes. The first thing I use is a foundation brush. I use this e.l.f. angled foundation brush. You can find anything I say that's from e.l.f. you can find on eyeslipsface.com. This was $3. This is from the Studio line of brushes. It's an angled foundation brush, and what I do is I just take my foundation and squirt a pump here directly on to the bristles of this brush, and then I dot it all over my face and then lightly swipe side to side all over until it's blended out. e.l.f. complexion brush, also $3, and I use this for blush. It's a fluffy brush. You could use this for looser pressed powder as well. I just choose to use it for blush because it's so fluffy. It gives a light application, and you can just I kind of dot it on and up and then sweep it across up towards the temple and then blend it out a little bit. This e.l.f. powder brush, and it's a flat top brush. Some people use this like the MAC 187 and stipple on foundation with it. I haven't tried it for that yet, but I think that it would be a good foundation brush. I use this for powder, for loose powder. I put my Makeup Forever HD powder in the cap, swirl it around, and tap off the excess, and then buff this into my skin. This fan brush. And this is from Hobby Lobby. It's a paintbrush from Royal Majestic. It's the Royal Majestic number 4 fan brush, and it costs like $5 or less. And what I use this for is highlight powder. I'll just put a little bit of highlight powder, sweep it up with this, and then place it just on the very tops of my cheeks, and then get it just in the very tips of these and go right down the center of my nose with it, and then kind of blend it out. And it works perfectly for putting that on lightly to where it looks really natural. So that's what I use this for. On to the eye brushes. This is the e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. This is what it looks like. And it's $1, and it's a great eyeshadow brush. It's a thick, dense brush, and I use this, just sweep up the shadow and then just pat that all over the lid, sweep it across the lid. It's a perfect, just all over the lid eyeshadow brush. One e.l.f. blending eye brush. You can use this, it's kind of tapered up to a point a little bit. It's very dense. Almost too dense for blending in my opinion. I use this most commonly to apply a highlight right under the brow bone, and sometimes blend my other colors into that highlight. The MAC 224. I'm sure everybody knows about this brush. It is the blending brush and crease brush, and it is very thick, a lot bigger than, see the comparison between the e.l.f. blending eye brush and the MAC 224 blending and crease brush. So the MAC is a lot bigger, and I like to sometimes put a crease color in with a different brush and then use this to go over it in circular motions, and it really creates that perfect fuzzed out smoky effect to the eye. You could place a black shadow or a very dark shadow in the outer corner of your eye, and then if you go over this in circular motions, drag it into the crease like this, and just work on blending it out a lot, it's going to look just perfectly smoked out and just great. So that's the MAC 224. Love it, and it was $28. So by far the most expensive brush I have. The next brush is e.l.f.'s small angled brush. This is a very tiny little angled brush, also $3, and I like to use this to draw on my cream liner for my eyes. You can see it's very thin. I'll dip that in my L'Oreal Hip cream liner and line the eye with it, and it works great for that. Only negative I have to say about this brush is it has been shedding a lot when I clean it, but it is only $3. And it's a very thin brush. Good for eyeliner. The next brush I have is the Ulta pencil brush. This is what it looks like. It's very small. It was $8. It goes up to a fine tapered point, And what this is perfect for, in my opinion, is if you put a eyeliner on the bottom lash line or waterline and you want to go over that with the shadow and just kind of make it smolder and smoke out that bottom lash line, you can drag this brush perfectly underneath there, underneath those lashes, and smoke that out. You could also do that on the top lash line. I just find that I do it on the bottom lash line more. So this is Ulta's pencil brush. The next brush I have is Special Edition MAC 266 brush. They have this in the full size as well, if you're interested, to go over shadows in my waterline or go over a black liquid liner on my top line with a black powder or a similar colored powder to set it in. So if I put a black eyeliner on the top lash line, I would dip this into a black shadow and just lightly dab, 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 and then drag it across to really set that color in. It's just a little no-name angled brush. It's thicker than the MAC and the e.l.f. brush, but it's a little softer. And I use this for my brows most often. I'll dip this in a brown powder and start in the center and go ahead and darken up, fill in my brows, and that's what I use this for. The next brush I have is the e.l.f. contour brush. It's a very, very short little tip, and it goes up to a little tapered point, and this will create a very defined crease. If you just want a dark color just right in that crease, this is a tiny little brush, little stiff, short little bristles, and you can get that dark color and just wash it in that crease. Make sure not to push too hard with this brush because the bristles are so short that you're going to be pushing the handle into your eye if you push very hard. Tight Spot Detailer brush from Hobby Lobby. It's a paintbrush, and it's just like a bent eyeliner brush that you would find from Sonia Kashuk at Target or any of those other brands, except this one cost $4. So also this could be for cream or liquid liner. You just dip this into your product and then draw your line across your eye. e.l.f.'s Defining Eye Brush, $1 brush again. It is a not so harshly angled brush, but it is an angled brush, and it is pretty soft. It has black shadow in it right now, so it's messy, sorry. But what I like to use this for is if I've used a regular eyeshadow brush to pat color on, some sort of crease brush to put a darker color in, and then I just want to really give some depth to this very outer corner of the eye. What I'll do is put this in a really dark color, whatever I'm using, say carbon, a black color, and then just put this just here with the brush like this, and then flip the brush up and draw it into the crease just like a fourth or a third of the way in. And then you can kind of drag this in just by rotating it like that to shade your outer corner darker. e.l.f.'s concealer brush from the Studio line, $3, and this is meant for concealer to just pat it on in the under eye area and blend it out, or anywhere else you have a blemish. But what I like this for the most is applying a eyeshadow base. So I'll either get a cream eyeshadow or one of the NYX jumbo pencils, and what I usually do is use those jumbo pencils and I'll draw on, like say I draw on a black jumbo pencil base, draw that over my eye, and then I don't want to use my finger to blend it in because I might get some over here or down here, and I don't want that because it's a really dark color. So then after I draw it on my eye, I'll grab this and just really blend out that cream color base, and it just makes it blend out perfectly. It's great for blending that out and just making that base look completely thin, even, smooth, and ready for powder eyeshadow. The last brush I have here is e.l.f.'s Brow Comb and Brush. I'm sure you've all seen these, but this one is $1 and it's just as good as any other. Those are my most commonly used brushes right now. If you have any other questions about any of these brushes or their uses, go ahead and let me know. I also wanted to say that when you're using brushes, it's really important to keep them clean, not only to prevent yourself from getting bacteria and other grody things on your face, you also want to keep them clean to protect the brush and to preserve its life. So if you want your brush to have longevity and to not break you out and have dirty stuff on it, you're going to want to keep it clean. I like to use this Clinique makeup brush cleanser. on the brushes every day or every other day to spot clean, and then once a week I will do a deeper clean. For eyeshadow brushes I find that this is plenty, but for those brushes that get foundation and powder packed into them, I like to wash them with something soapy. Like I use often Maya's dog shampoo. It's a moisturizing shampoo for dogs with sensitive skin, and it works really great for my brushes. So I just wanted to throw that in there about the importance of keeping those brushes clean.